Okay, hi YouTube. It's Billy with my girlfriend Amanda today, and the reason that I actually kind of decided to have Amanda in this video is because I'm going to tell her why I ended up choosing Yu-Gi-Oh over Magic, which I'm sure blows a lot of people's minds just right here. And I wanted to say that there was a good amount of years. My first card game ever was Yu-Gi-Oh. There was a good amount of years when I quit Yu-Gi-Oh, and I wanted to get back into something, a card game. But I'm like, I already played Yu-Gi-Oh. I wasn't in the mood to go after the same game I've already played. I wanted something more adult, so I looked into Magic the Gathering, and I had this little demo disc game for the computer, and I played it, and it was okay. It was something I had to get used to. So I said, let's give it a shot. Now, the first thing I learned about Magic after learning the rules was that they do instead of the ban list that Konami does, they rotate the sets. So I think it's 5 or 6 sets. I don't know at all. I just know that after a limited amount of sets, the set that's the lowest you can't use anymore. That's how they do it. So you always have to buy new cards. And that right there just didn't fly with me. If it makes you feel fine because it makes your format fresh and your game fresh and that's your kind of thing, well, that's just sweet. But that's I'm not about to just go invest something every 6 sets or have to keep playing catch up. That's not me. So my friend was like, though, he's like, well, they have EDH and Magic, and this is this is where things get bullshit. So EDH Magic is you can only use one copy of every card except for lands. Lands is like mana and Mage Wars. It's how they do everything. So at first I'm like, sweet, that I can get cheap cards, just play one of everything. Everybody says Magic's such a balanced game. It's not a balanced game. But everybody says how it's such a balanced game. Then I learned there are cards over $1,000 for this EDH format, and you have to have them, like Black Lotus. Well, you don't have to have them, but and there's always those optimists in any card game that are like, well, you just have to learn to play around it or deal with not playing with it. This is Yu-Gi-Oh is called Crush Card Virus, okay? Um, in order to play this card's been banned forever. It just destroys everything your opponent has that's a strong monster for you triggering a weak monster. It's really freaking broken. Let's say this card was legal in the format. I have such an advantage over you right now. If I can play this before you or you don't even have this card in your deck, it's like you're fighting an uphill battle. And I'm not about to fight an uphill battle. And this is the worst part. Magic players will fight and say their card game is the best because they have cards that cost over $1,000. No, that just makes it a shitty game. See, I'm not going to get into a fucking game where I have to pay over $1,000 to get competitive. That is the stupidest logic. You guys, I mean, I'm saying this to all Magic players ever said that to me. You think that makes you a serious game and all hardcore. You're still a card game. I don't know how to tell you this. You're just fighting cards. That's all you're doing. It's no Magic is no different than Yu-Gi-Oh or Card Fight Vanguard and anything except for mechanics. It's just a card game is a card game. And if you're gonna be paying over $1,000 or have cards worth more than your car, which is one thing somebody said to me over the weekend, I guess you're a sucker. You're a fool. You're literally paying. Some people, have to save up for years to get that amount of money, and maybe you're a boiler or something. You have that disposable income. I'm not going to get into rants about people wasting money and stuff. That's not what this video is just about. It's just about the fact that that's not a pro, it's a con, and you can try to twist this as much as you want to. No, like everybody complains in Yu-Gi-Oh, like this Crush Card Virus right here. You see this? How it's silver letters? It's not actually holographic. It's just the case. This is like common print picture right here. This is a really easy to get regular rare because Konami reprints their cards quite often. I know Breakthrough Skill, a Yu-Gi-Oh card that was turned into a fad really recently, got reprinted. It was like a $20 card. Now it's got reprinted as a common really friggin' quickly after the set just got released that it came in. And some people feel burned. But such a good thing at the end of the day for just the game, just being a game, because you don't want to pay $1,000 per card. You don't even want to pay. I don't even want to pay 50 per card. In my opinion, it needs to be lower than 20, or I'm not going to buy you. Okay, if it's super good and it's a deck I really like, 25, 30 if it's something that will keep value. Like if it's something you can sell, if you don't think it'll be on the ban list, or just something you can sell beforehand, or before you know a reprint's coming or something. But no. Anyways, oh, and Magic, you have those shivers or silvers or whatever, and I know it's just permanent boosts, and it's really broken, and I don't know how you could say that you're so above Yu-Gi-Oh when you have that kind of crap. Yu-Gi-Oh is a bad format right now, don't get me wrong. And this is the last thing. I looked actually to other card games before Yu-Gi-Oh. I looked into Pokemon cards, believe it or not. I heard so many good things about Pokemon. I used to play Pokemon as a kid. I was like, let's get back into Pokemon. Guess what? Maybe a Wizard of the Coast. The same people that make Magic. You know what that meant? Set rotations. Set rotation ban list. Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Yu-Gi-Oh, since the first set is legal, they just have a ban list. The way Yu-Gi-Oh ban list goes is it's traditional, which means banned. You can't use the card in advance. Limited, you can only use one copy of the card. It's semi-limited, which is 2 copies. And this works so good because, and this is why Yu-Gi-Oh was just like, I'm like, I don't want to come back. I don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh again. It's like, come on, baby. You have everything. You can just make a deck of the cards you already used to own. And all my cards I had, except for like one, was complete shit in the new format. But I could still do it. I could still play with everybody again. And that's what made Yu-Gi-Oh the #1 card game in the world. See, it's not about just the fact they have a children's anime and they go to the children's market. It's about the fact that it's probably, in my opinion, the easiest card game that you can get into because of how cheap it is. Maybe Magic has cheap budget decks. Maybe, but you know for a fact that it's not going to last forever. There are weird reprint rules with Magic, I know. But besides that, and those still are going to expire, you know it's not going to last forever. No matter what card you buy, unless you're playing EDH, in which case you know you're not on even playground. If there's more formats, or if I said a format wrong, I don't care. I did investigate this before I got into the game at the time. It was just a long time ago, so I don't remember all the terms. And if there was a hidden format or something I missed, or some magically good format, well, screw that, because, I make it open. Show me what I can do. I don't believe in the Magic's do not reprint list, which is the problem where this all stems from, where Magic the Gathering, when it first started, they made a list of cards they were never going to reprint, like staples. So this is why that one format you can play one of every copy in, any card you want, like one of any card you want, is bad, because some of the cards that are so powerful had Yu-Gi-Oh syndrome, where they were too good and they got banned. But since they can't reprint them, they get stupidly expensive. Magic should just pull what I like to call the Harpy Lady trick that Yu-Gi-Oh did, where Yu-Gi-Oh, they wanted you to be able to play different Harpy Ladies in your deck, but they already made Harpy Lady. So they just said, this card's name is treated as Harpy Lady. Just make something like Purple and Black Lotus. Say this card's name is treated as Black Lotus. That way, because now its name is treated as Black Lotus in deck creation too, so you can't have 2 Black Lotuses. You could still only have 1 Black Lotus, so Purple Black Lotus, and give it the same effect, and just different art. There you go. You have something I can get my hands on. People who own the original Black Lotus aren't burned, because it's still the Black Lotus, the original card. It's still going to retain some value, and everybody wins. But right now, Magic just has a really shitty pricing system and ban list format, and it's not a card game I can get into. I'm sure a lot of people are butthurt, and feel free to leave comments I'm not going to read below. And thanks for listening.